Hello everybody and welcome to the Whiskey Dictionary. Tonight we are doing a Wheel of Doom. So, love calling it all kinds of random names. Wheel of Whiskey, Flights of the Round Table, Wheel of Doom, Wheel of, I don't know, stuff. So, what are you guys doing? Oh, you know what? The spinning samples, that could work too. How are you guys all doing tonight? It is Wednesday? Man, sometimes, I don't know, sometimes Wednesdays creep up on you and sometimes they drag. This one, I'm surprised it's already Wednesday. But, anyway. Tonight is going to be a fun one. If you've never tuned in for a Wheel of Whiskey, which it's been quite a while, it's been a while since I've wheeled the whiskey, then this is a fun one. What I do is I end up taking different whiskey. Just realized I don't have the audio on that other one. Give me 2 seconds. Yep, there we are. All right, so this is what is on the wheel tonight. So we've got all kinds of American, rye, Canadian, world bourbon, Scotch, all kinds of stuff. So go ahead, take a little looky-do. Still no audio. No way. All right, Steve. Oh, okay, never mind. I was going to say, Steve was saying that we had no audio. The latency always kills me. All right, so I'm going to go right back to that, the Wheel of Doom. So go ahead and take a quick look at what is on the wheel. All of these bottles are basically, I revised the list today. It's all up there. We are going to pick one at random right now, just so that we can kind of get into this. Oh, big one. Ooh, a good one. All right, so I'll show it to this camera. So we have it's not going to focus. Lagavulin 11. No, Lagavulin Nick Offerman edition, aged 11 years. Yeah, 46%. This one was sent to me by Mark Reyes. R-E-Y-E-S. So thank you, Mark. I remember when you sent this over, actually. I think this was actually either this one or the Ardbeg Black might have been the one that you originally kind of heard me say I wanted, and then I think you sent me this and 3 others, if I remember correctly. All right, so we're going to start off right away with some peated whiskey. Sounds like a good way to kill off my taste buds early, but I will do it anyway. Before I get into that, I'm going to let that thing sit for just a minute and say hi to a few people that are in the chat. So first off, thank you, IC86, for showing up. Same with Steve A., both of my moderators for tonight. Spencer, I know you're drinking along with me. If you need to pick one, I believe that was you that linked the list. Number 5 should be your next drink. I think you said that you were going to pick your sample number 2 right when the stream started. Yeah, no, I hear you, Steve. There's a lot that have been here for quite a while. Sometimes they just don't get picked. Let's see. Mamuka, Kenneth. Hey, Kenneth, nice to see you. Mahi, Joseph, Snore? I don't know. It's one thing. You never know what might be somebody's real name and what might just be a handle. So, Mike Meyer, nice to see you again. Shashank, nice to see you. Donner Pass, Wheels. A lot of good people. A lot of what do you call it? Regulars around here at the bar. So, I have some pretty fun stuff to discuss tonight. But first things first, I'm gonna dive into a whiskey because streams always go better with a little bit of alcohol in you. Yeah, I had a feeling looking at your AE combined that it was probably a name that I would not be able to pronounce. So, I don't know. How would you go about pronouncing that? See if you can spell it phonetically for me, and I'm happy to correct myself. Oh, Go Habs is here? Hey. Ooh, Emily Chambers, nice to see you. This one smells amazing. Oh, I love peated whiskeys. I just love them so much. Now, I don't think I've actually had any of the Lagavulin Nick Offerman editions. I know that there's this one. He just did a new one, I believe. But then there's the Distiller's edition, which I haven't had before. I know it has nothing really to do with Nick Offerman, but I suspect that if that whole, collaboration didn't happen, I think the Distiller's editions would have just probably been what they're putting out, but whatever. All right, cool. I'm glad to hear that. Sounds like I pronounced it properly. Oh, so good. Oh, it's so good. All right, let's go ahead and have a drink to this. Drink to you, drink to Wednesday, and a drink to your health. Cheers. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm. You know, Lagavulin. Oh man, that's so good. Yeah, that's really good. Wow. I'm just gonna sit with this for a minute. That's good. It's very reminiscent to me of like the Port Charlotte 10, in a lot of ways. Less so like the Lagavulin 8. It's I mean it's of course it's smoky, but it's also sweet, and the smoke is just very well done. It's not overbearing, but it's also the keynote. You know that that's exactly what you're drinking. This is exactly what new Scotch drinkers hate in Scotch, but it is very good. No, I totally get you, Steve. I'm more thinking, I know that they do the Distiller's Edition every year. I'm wondering if the Distillers, I never really have, I'm speaking a little bit of ignorance here, but more just thinking about the way that distilleries tend to do stuff, right? So they've got this collaboration with a very highly paid actor. They're going to probably, in my opinion, might want to give the better stuff to his, thinking that more people will have it, get turned on to Lagavulin, and then find their way into the brand. But like, I'm wondering if that didn't happen, if the stuff they're putting out with Nick Offerman would have ended up being the Distiller's Edition. Then again, I don't know. Is Nick Offerman's thing, is it sherry finished? Because you say the Distiller's Editions are. So maybe I'm just totally talking out of my ass, which is very likely. Oh man, so good. I want to just take my time with this one, and I'm going to. So, why don't I tell you guys about something funny that I found actually in the Discord. We have a news channel, basically whiskey news. Anything that comes up, people tend to dump it in there. Now, this came up, and it's been making its way around like YouTube and TikTok and all those things, where a dude claims that he caught a fish that had some whiskey in its belly. And I grabbed the clip here. So you can kind of check this out now. He's about to cut a fish open. That's not your thing. So, very interesting. A lot of me wonders if this is true, but I'm happy to suspend my disbelief and just think that this really happened. And we're going to cut this open here. We're going to pull it open, and we are going to pop out a beautiful bottle of Fireball whiskey. Now, I am personally a little sad that that's what it ended up being. When you see a big, what do you call it, a news title that says, "Man finds whiskey in fish's belly," I'm just like, ooh, maybe it's from like a sunken ship or something like that. Maybe it's going to be something cool. And it's Fireball. Oh well. Fireball has its place, I suppose. All right, anyway, so I was just trying to, it looked like the chat had stopped for a second. Let's see. So Lagavulin 16 and Ardbeg 10. I really just need, I've been saying this at least for, June? For at least 6 months. I need to, hold on. All right, I'll get to that in a second. Travis. What was I saying? Shoot. Whatever, I totally forget. Anyway, Travis, you just came in looking at some fish, I guess. I don't know. Shelf turds would like that. Oh, that's what it was. Yeah, man, Fireball, I guess it has its place. I know I drank it on a April Fool's stream. Was that last year? Probably 2 years ago at this point. I know what I was talking about. Ardbeg 10 versus Lagavulin 16. So for about 6 months or so, I've been saying I need to buy Lagavulin 16, and the fact remains that I do still need to buy Lagavulin 16. Just haven't yet. And I know that will be a really fun whiskey to drink. So maybe, you know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to save that as a whiskey that I'm going to drink or buy for a special occasion. Because that doesn't happen to me very often. Usually it's, I just kind of buy something because I think it's the right move, or something I'm like interested in. That one I've actually been looking forward to. So I'm going to wait for a special occasion. I'm not sure what that's going to be yet, but I'll try to make it this year. So I have a couple of announcements tonight. The first things first. I don't know. Do you guys want like? Do you guys? Well, I guess whatever. I'll probably end up announcing this a few times here, just because people will. I don't know. Screw it. I'll wait for a couple of more whiskeys just so people have time to filter in. Weirdest aftertaste you've ever had? Can't place it. What is it? Glenfarclas Family Cask. I actually have I had that? That might have been one of my samples before. All right, Lagavulin Offerman edition. Big thumbs up. This is fantastic. If you like this, now here's the thing. My initial reaction was to compare it to the Port Charlotte 10. It does not have the finish of a Port Charlotte 10. Like, that is almost a weak finish, which is sad to hear. Just because it shouldn't, right? But I don't know, like Port Charlotte has a very long finish to me and just kind of hangs around. All you taste is the smoke. You really want to save your Port Charlotte for your last drink of the night. Oh, okay. Got it. Almost just dropped water all over myself. All right, let's go ahead and grab our next drink because I'm just kind of plowing through this stuff. All right, so first off, I need to grab another one of these, another glass, and all right, let's go ahead and pick. Nope, this little guy. What are you? Oh, this will be interesting. All right, let me do something real quick. Cool. All right, so this is the Nomad Outland Whiskey, finished in sherry at 41.3%. This looks like Matt's handwriting, so I expect that this will be a pretty good one. Eric, that wouldn't be a surprise. Also, I'm the big spoon. Ooh, that's a weird one. Hold on. What does that smell like? All right, so Nomad Outland Whiskey. All I know is that this is a Scotch. I don't really know anything else about this, but somebody will. Somebody comments in the channel. One thing that I've been meaning to do, as you see, like the samples are dwindling a bit, which is fine. There's still like probably 30 of them up there. But I've been wanting to do like a medium amount of research on each one just so I can talk a little bit more intelligently about whatever I'm randomly picking. But I think you can understand why, back when this used to be closer to 60, 70 samples, that was a little bit bigger of an ask. Oh, yum, yum, yum. But no, it's like a little weird. You know what I'm going to do here? There's no reason I need to kill myself over this. So let's do Nomad Outland Whiskey. And let's see what some general tasting notes on this are. Because what I'm getting is some like very sweet stuff, but it's not really something I can place my finger on. I'm thinking, it said sherry, and I'm pausing here. I haven't gotten to any sites yet. So it says sherry, but it doesn't smell like normal Oloroso sherry. So I'm thinking it's one of the other ones. Like Pedro Jimenez, and boy, what is the other one? Blanking. There's a third sherry that often finds its way into things. Somebody's gonna say it, and I'm gonna just duh, right? So let's go ahead. Okay. All right. So blended whiskey is a collaboration between Scotch blender Richard Patterson, okay, and sherry producer Gonzales Baez. So interesting. So Richard Patterson, he's the Dalmore guy, right? Pretty sure. And all I know is his videos where he's teaching you to taste like a sir, I think is what he says, back when that was a thing. It's a blend of grain and single malts aged in Scotland 5 to 8 years, with the blend spending at least 3 years together aging in Oloroso. So it is Oloroso. Now that's weird because on here it says finished in Pedro Jimenez casks. Oh, it's then shipped to Spain for additional years aging in former Pedro Jimenez sherry cask. So it's actually double sherry cask. That's interesting. Huh. Okay. So it's fairly inexpensive. No age statement. Comprised of both single malts and single grains, often blah, blah, blah. Sherry is a massive on the nose, lending its... I don't know that I agree with that. I mean, I guess I do, because it smells like... Oh, I just got something that prunes, I guess. Yeah, that sucks. I was hoping for something better than prunes. Lending this whiskey the aroma of marzipan, toasted almond, and raisins. Okay. I wouldn't put it as raisins, but prunes and raisins, I guess, I don't know. The big sweet profile carries through to the taste, which is bursting with figs, dark chocolate, orange marmalade, and nuts. All right, yeah, whatever. All right, let's go ahead and have a taste. Cheers. So right now, I'm drinking the Nomad Outland whiskey, finished in sherry. Cheers. It's okay. It tastes a little bit like... Actually, the taste is definitely raisins. I completely agree with that. But it's like only raisins, actually, which is a little strange. It reminds me a very, very small amount, and not all encompassing, but like the Old Pulteney 1983 that I had a very similar note to this, but it was like way deeper and richer and whatever. But this one, it's on the way there. This is actually not bad, which would make sense because that Old Pulteney was very heavily sherry influenced. Port Charlotte is giving me smoky finish, but sweet notes first. Yeah, man. Are you drinking the Port Charlotte 10? Somebody is actually named Laga 16. Fantastic. Well, this one's not bad. It's just, I don't know. It's very one note, one tone. All right. Well, let me talk about something. Here's a question. Should I talk about some big news in the Whiskey Dictionary, or should I talk about a concept that I'm going to be doing for my next several streams? I'll let you guys decide which one I should talk about first while I sit here and sip my whiskey. Yeah, this is growing on me a little bit. Again, still very one note, though. Rhubarb, huh, Steve? That's interesting. What are you drinking again? I suppose I could scroll up, but... Is this the Glenfarclas family cask? All right, so Spencer's vote and concept. So that sounds good to me. Well, let's see. I'm going to go into both of them. All right, cool. So concept. All right, so here's the idea. Working title, although I'm pretty set on it, is Blend Bill's Bar. Now, here's the idea. I have currently a spreadsheet that has all of my bottles of whiskey in it, or at least probably like 80% of them. I'm going to flesh it out and make sure it's accurate. Now, the idea is I'm going to take suggestions for blends out of anything that I have. You could pick any bottle whatsoever, and then I'm going to, on stream, pick, say, 4 of them or so prior to the stream, and I'm going to blend to your specifications. And I'm going to put those 4 up against each other. And the winner is going to go on to the next round. I'm going to do this for 4 weeks in a row. So at the end of those 4 weeks, I will have 4 winners. Then the 5th week will be a taste test between all 4 of those. And the winner will win something. I haven't quite figured out what it's going to be yet, but it'll be worth it. It'll be fun. So that's the idea, is that I have something like 200 bottles. It should certainly be within reason that you guys could be like, hey, you know what, take 1 part, I don't know, say Johnny Walker Red, and then mix it with a little Port Charlotte 10, and throw some rye in there, like just whatever you want. And there'll be all these specifications. Probably I'll put them up on my website, and I'll post stuff about it in the Discord. But this is the idea. So what do you guys think? I think it's kind of a fun idea, and it will give me something to look forward to for the next several weeks. And if things go well, I'll do a season 2 as well. So I think it's a fun idea, and it'll be a good way to kind of Ardbeg. Yes, exactly. Yep. Can you just have some Port Charlotte 10, some Ardbeg 10, and some Lagavulin 16? Steve, I'm fully expecting something like that. He says 3 parts Johnny Walker Red, 1 proper 12. Cool. All right. Well, it seems like people like the idea. That's great. All right. So overall, I mean, personally, I don't know what the Nomad Outland whiskey finished in sherry costs, but I suspect that I would not buy this one myself. I feel like it's just too one tone for me. There's nothing exciting to kind of get into it. So Jim, I used to go live at 9 o'clock a while back, and then I just kind of lost my spot on Friday nights. Like Friday's not a great night for me personally to stream. I mean, it's Friday night. I'm doing stuff, right? So Wednesday night, 8 o'clock before Jason's stream seemed like a great place. So this is my new time. I stream every Wednesday except for the first Wednesday of the month. Both because it's good to have a break, but also Whiskey Mountains streams at that time. And I didn't want to just go on at the same time. I think it's good to have, not have competition so much against each other, because then people, get split, and it's, I don't know, not really my style. All right, anyway, let's see, Ardbeg 10, Port Charlotte 10, and Lagavulin 16, the perfect menage a trois. I completely agree. That actually would be fun to try. I bet it would be absolutely delicious. All right. Just had a brain fart. That's fine, Jim. All right, so let's go back to the Wheel of Doom and pick our next dram. So let's do this. Part of the problem with these larger bottles is even though they are good, I tend to pick larger bottles. Oh boy. I was hoping I was going to get this one before the night was closer to the end, because I really wanted to taste it. This is the Glenfarclas 25, 43%. This one is going to be great, I think. I'm gonna have my damn fine dram glass here, because I think this is going to be a damn fine dram. Let's go ahead and pour. I do like to do half bottles, because then I can have more later. All right, so let's go ahead and, actually, I'm going to have a little bit more water. I want to make sure I give myself a chance to taste everything I can taste. Okay, on the nose, surprisingly not a ton going on, but let's see what happens if I let it open up just a little bit. While I'm letting that sit for a minute, let me do this real quick and just say thank you to all my patrons. This is, I think it's good to throw them up on a screen. And so these are all the dickheads that support me, make a lot of these things possible, and make it so that I can go to the Bastards Ball in October. So if you are going to be there, I will see you. I'm going on the 14th through the 18th, so I'm going to be staying there for a few days. I'm probably going to get in touch with some of the local distillers and see if I can maybe go do a distillery tour or two, and I think that'd be really fun. So, thank you to anybody who supports me on Patreon and to anybody who is a member of this channel. So, thank you very much. All right. Yeah, I'm with you, Jim. I was actually just thinking about you before the stream. So Jim and I are going to meet up pretty soon. He's trade samples essentially, and we keep not syncing up on the weekends. Either I'm gone or he's gone or we're both busy or whatever. So I won't be able to do this weekend either, Jim. But we'll meet up soon. Now, Eric says I go live on Friday, so I don't have to worry about getting up early the next day to go to work after drinking, which, for whatever reason, I read funnier in my head. Usually whenever Eric says something, it's just funny, so I assume it's going to be for that. That's a very reasonable excuse, Eric, and also why I used to do Fridays. My Friday crazy live streams with the other whiskey tubers, those were a thing of legend, and they were much better to wake up on a Saturday to than a different day. All right, so this is opening up just a little bit. It's getting a little fruity. Actually, there's a really nice candy note in there. Ooh, that's getting good. Yeah, I'm glad I let this sit for a minute. Ooh, that's really sweet and nice. What is Glenfarclas? Well, I guess I'll be able to tell from the sip. So, cheers, guys. Drink's a little hot for a 43, actually. Surprising. I would not peg that as a 43. I would at least say it was a 46. But that's actually, this is surprising. I'm not saying anything negative about it yet, or at all. More, I was expecting it to be a little bit less harsh at 25 years old. But I don't know anything about the way this is made. I don't know if it's, finished in something or not. It tastes like it might be finished in sherry, but it's really hard to say. It's just the sweetness that's on the taste here makes me think that. All right, have a good night, Eric. Hot take, I'm enjoying the Remus Repeal 2 more than the Wild Turkey 17 Bottle and Bond. Well, so the Remus Repeal 4 is something that I really like. So I'm not surprised. It is sherry finished, yeah. I would be shocked to find out that it wasn't, and I would be really curious what their barrels were if they made it taste like this. Yeah. This smells amazing. It really opened up after like a couple minutes. I do wonder what it would be like if I let this sit out for... You know what? I'm going to let that sit out for a little bit. Do I want to, though? I didn't pour a whole lot of it. But I do kind of want to let it sit for a little bit and see if anything new comes out. Yes, Glenfarclas is generally sherried, but they use and reuse and reuse and reuse the casks. Yeah, I think this is probably not one of the many reuses because it's pretty heavy on that candy note. Yeah, Kenneth, that is a problem that we all have, buying too much when you're traveling. You can only bring so much home with you. All right. I'm going to leave that Glenfarclas 25 to sit out and hope I don't pull another peated whiskey despite my love for it, just because I'd like to enjoy it a little bit more after it opens up to the air just a bit. So let's go ahead and pick another from the Wheel of Doom. Boy, I am flying through these, though. So I've already gone through 3, and we're only halfway through the stream. 3 is amazing, but based on samples, 4 is my second favorite, and then 2, haven't had it. I haven't had 1. Okay. Let's see. And what are you? Big guy. Oh, this is one from Travis, I think. Let's see. Wrong one. Okay. So this is Cedar Ridge, SLSM, which I believe is silver something or other. Let's see. Yeah, silver label. SM might be like small batch or something, but number 39, 47% chocolate cherry wood. Okay, so it's the top one there. Cool. So Travis, I'm sure that you could tell me plenty about this one. So while I am unwrapping, feel free to lay it on me. What makes the chocolate cherry wood 47% awesome? I do like Cedar Ridge. I had planned on going out there for a distillery before Corona happened. So, Super Chad's not... Oh, that's Nightbot. That's funny. I was like, who's talking about Super Chats? All right. Oh boy, that's a weird one. That's really weird. Yep, single malt batch 39 chocolate cherry wood. Okay. What does that smell like? What does that smell like? It's super like florally and sugary. I'm trying real hard not to. No, it's not like cherry. It's like a blackberry. This is awesome. This smells really, really good. The chocolate, I don't know if like chocolate cherry malt. I'm guessing it's the typical chocolate malts that, other distilleries do, which does tend to give off a chocolatey aroma. Use chocolate malt in the single malt and is finished with cherry wood spirals in the barrel. Okay. That would explain a little bit, because it doesn't... I have a feeling when I taste this, it's going to taste like it should have aged longer, based off the nose. So it's interesting you say that it's got cherry wood spirals in there. I would be interested to know how long. But let's go ahead and have a taste. Cheers. Mm. That is a really rich, nice flavor. I like this one a lot, Travis. Nice job. This is a great one. Thanks for sending this along. Mmm. That's a totally different flavor. I've had a lot of scotch tonight. Actually, I've had 3 scotches tonight. And now I'm going to... Is this technically a bourbon or is it something else? I think I have it listed as American whiskey, so probably not a bourbon. Yeah, just American. It smells fantastic. So Cedar Ridge is from Iowa. They heavily use the corn that they are known for. I once knew a girl from Iowa. Yes. Cape Cod. I think I was about 17, maybe. Yeah, that was a good time. It's an American thing. Oh, yeah, duh. Wow. Okay. Yeah, imagine that. The, malted whiskey finished in whatever is... Why would I even think that's a bourbon? I'm just dense. So, anyway. Yeah, Cedar Ridge, to me, hasn't been in the news so much lately. And actually, you know what? You just kind of reminded me. I wanted to bring something up. So as I was going through all of these samples, I saw one from Compass Box. Is it just me, or has Compass Box kind of fallen out of, like, the spotlight? Because I don't know if maybe they're just kind of going a little too hard with all of the different random releases or something, but I don't think that's it. Like, their artwork is still fantastic. Maybe it's a little hard to get their stuff. I think, you know what? I wonder if that's what it is. I don't see a whole lot from Compass Box in my local stores at all. I wonder if either the tariffs kind of got a little bit too much for them. Maybe they stopped shipping quite as much to the US. Or if something else happened that caused them to either make less or have less available. But either way, I'm starting to really miss Compass Box because their stuff was really exciting. Every time it came out, I got excited about it. I'm enjoying this one. This is really good. You've sent me several Cedar Ridge bottles, and a couple of these I've opened already, but this is my favorite so far. Really, the tariffs didn't cover blends? Boy, how did I not know that? That's surprising to hear. I thought it was just all Scotch. I don't know. We drink whenever we're able. I could see that, Kenneth. Irish is reasonably affordable for some of their Let me put it this way. Some of the cheaper Irish whiskeys are still pretty good. It's hard to find cheap Scotch that's good. I have like a beginner Irish whiskey video that might be up your alley if you haven't checked it out. Yeah, Peat Monster's okay. I liked it when I first had it, but I would wonder if I'd like it quite as much now. Okay, thanks, Steve. I did not know that it was only single malts. So then, what made Compass Box? Am I out of my mind? Like, do you guys feel the same way, or am I just maybe not paying as much attention? Which is very possible. Work has been a bitch literally this entire calendar year. Actually, I think we had our first prod release that had a problem on January 5th. So it's been problematic the entire year. All right, cool. I'm gonna have some water because that one was definitely a little bit of a like. I wanted to go back to the Glenfarclas. I don't think I should do it after that one. IC86 says, I haven't seen Compass Box at the stores I visit, and it wasn't really for lack of looking for it. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe might have been single grains too. Okay, I've had a decent number of scotches and would like to try more, but $90 for Oogie, as an example, is tough to swallow. Completely agree. Oogadale at $90. I wouldn't bother. around me, Corey Vrecken is about $90, and I love Corey Vrecken, and I still don't go rebuy a bottle, only because $90 is a lot to spend on a whiskey for me. I find that just, my money is better served buying, really, I don't know if that's true. Buying things I haven't tried is definitely a true statement. I would absolutely buy the Corey Vrecken again, probably not until after I'm done with the channel, though, which could be a long time. I've been having a lot of fun with it lately, actually. All right, so let's see. That's 30% chocolate malt aged for 3 years in a used Cedar Ridge bourbon barrel, then roughly 6 months finishing with cherrywood spirals. I'll have to get you some of the chocolate port. Ooh, that sounds pretty good, Travis. Nice. Hey, Travis, are you coming to the Bastards Ball this year? I see plenty of Compass Box still, but part of it is that they got to be well-known and popular, so it flew off the shelves. Yeah, I was wondering if that was it too, Steve, but what made me question that was more that people aren't, at least as far as I see, people aren't actively talking about Compass Box nearly as much as they used to, and so, I don't know, that was it. Oogie for 65 is really good. Yeah, I agree with that. All right, let's go back to the Wheel of a Doom. 836. All right. So, boom. Little guy. I'm going to skip this one, only because I have a bottle of it, and I've had it somewhat recently. All right. Just for those of you that don't know, I don't look at the wheel when I'm picking. I like to try to make it random. Ooh, this is a good one. All right. I got to say, more often than not, it's always just a good one. I feel like I should put a terrible whiskey in here every now and then, just because it'd be kind of fun to be like, no, proper 12. All right, so this is the Elijah Craig single barrel 18 year, 45%. So that sounds like a lot of fun. Now, before I do, I'm going to go back to the Glenfarclas 25, because I feel like after the Elijah Craig single barrel 18 year at 45%, there's no coming back to something delicate like a Scotch. So I'm going to just, ooh. Oh man, I want to just bottle the smell of this. Can we make smelling like a drunkard, like somehow, like maybe through like hipsters, we could make it like chic? Is that the right word? Like hipsters could make this work. Be like, oh, you could smell like a Scotch, and somehow make that an okay thing. That is so good. So Matt, if you end up watching this video ever, thank you for the Glenfarclas 25. Fantastic. I'm gonna have to, I'll write him a thing. Actually, that looks like that's actually different handwriting. That's not from Matt. I have no idea who sent me this. And it's got an orange label in it as well. Who sent me the Glenfarclas 25? I know I've had it for a really long time, which is why I can't remember who sent this to me. Lincoln Clay, I can assure you that it is not. Travis, if you send me a Malort, it will go directly onto the Wheel of Doom, I promise. Now, one thing, the most recent addition to the Wheel of Doom, actually, is under the rye, the Ragtime Rye Single Barrel Cask Strength, which is on here without a label. Yeah, I just picked it up. So it's this little guy. So if I end up picking this one, I'll be pretty happy. That one was sent by one of my patrons, Avi, I would guess is how you pronounce it. And yeah, I'm really excited to try that one. I've had the regular Ragtime Rye, but not the Cask Strength. So I think it will be very good. Rye is something I don't drink nearly enough of on this channel because I really like rye. IC86, I'm with you. I will say Steve A was giving me some crap today. They apparently they make a 4.5 liter Johnny Walker Red. It costs $225, which is funny because Steve, I think, was pointing out you could buy, what was it, 8 1.5 liters for the same price, something like that. So, like, why would you? It was at least 4. I know he kind of said both, but yeah, no, I don't want that. But I would say if I had it, it would go like right there, just right front and center, just to be a joke. Mamuka, thank you very much. Please do not drink proper 12. Please, people, do not drink proper 12. It's one of the worst whiskeys ever. Cheers to all. I hope everybody's having a wonderful evening. Mamuka, that's a great sentiment, both parts of it. So cheers to you. Polish off that 25. That is damn good, man. Oh, can anybody give me a price check on what the Glenfarclas 25 costs roughly? Because I kind of want one. You got a good point, Spencer. He says if Malort goes on the wheel, I could probably avoid drinking it for a while. Patchouli scent might be supportive to the drunk smell. Musty cedar. Yeah, that's an interesting point. So actually, a friend of mine, her name was is Priscilla, not was. She was trying to do like a whiskey scented perfume, or cologne. And she sent me a few just samples, and they smelled really good actually. But I just couldn't imagine wearing it personally. Just didn't like. I don't know. I just don't think that smelling like whiskey on purpose is a good idea. Like, what am I going to do? Show up at work at like 10 a.m. smelling like, oh, you smell like a delicious bourbon. Have you been drinking? You know, of course I have, but I don't want to tell anybody. Looks like 150 at Total Wine. Okay, so Glenfarclas 25 for 150. I think that's a good price, actually. I think I would buy it for that. I'm gonna have a little bit more water before I have this. I'm flying through these whiskeys. 165, 246 in Virginia. Wow. No thanks. Hey, Robert Licorice of the Licorice Brothers. That's weird. The Elijah Craig Single Barrel 18-year smells like a crayon. like no question. Just immediately like a crayon. And it continues to. Hold on. I want to make sure that's not like... No, it's the whiskey. Smells like a crayon. Okay. Bill, do you know if Jack Daniel's chill filter most of their whiskeys, or do they only charcoal filter them? So they... Question is, I do not know the answer, but I would imagine they chill filter it. But they're not... They're putting it down at 40%. I don't know. I've never run across that. Does anybody know for a fact? Like, I could guess based off logic, but I don't want to guess because I'm supposed to be factual. So I don't want to guess. I have no idea. Let's see. Prescription bourbon, agree. I'm liking French Canary. Crayon clay is a note the girlfriend and I get on Solera influence stuff. Okay. Now this is opening up just a bit, and it's starting to turn into a Band-Aid. So, so far, off to an interesting start. Ultimately, it's going to come down to what it tastes like. Now, it is starting to finally open up into something a little bit more interesting. But crayon, really? That's so weird. Almost like, is it crazy to say watermelon? Yeah, you know, Steve, I'm batting 0 tonight on, like, just knowledge. I don't know. I'm going to blame the whiskey. Speaking of knowledge, so my video this week is going to be on the Bunnahabhain 12, which I am very excited about. I was drinking it last night, and those in the Discord will know I was, like, flipping out about how much I liked it. When I did the first taste of it, I didn't love it immediately. I'm going to have to rewatch it to see exactly what I said, but I just was not a huge fan, and I was kind of just bored of it, but I think it needed to open up a little bit. But when I had it last night, so it's an unpeated Scotch that's from Islay, and it is absolutely fantastic. I don't recall how much it cost. I'll know all of this information tomorrow when I film tomorrow night, but it's very good. So if you are ever questioning yourself on Bunnahabhain 12, pick it up. No, I'm totally with you, Spencer. None of these smells are making any sense to me either. So, Spencer, this is the Elijah Craig Single Barrel 18-year. Now, I haven't had a taste of it yet because the nose keeps evolving into things that are not at all crayon. Well, actually, it's still... No, the crayon's gone. The Band-Aid is gone. So whatever happened with it just kind of opening up a little bit, thankfully, because that I couldn't imagine. It's turning a little bit more vanilla, but it's still like a strawberry vanilla, actually. Yeah, like a strawberry vanilla. That's super good. It's opening up really, really well. All right, let's go ahead and have a taste of this finally. Cheers. Mmm. Hmm. Ooh. Wow, that does a lot of things. Okay, so I'm trying to recollect how that just went because that was a lot. So it starts off. I'm going to do that again. Hold on. No, actually, hold on. It's still going. And I'll get to your question about courage and conviction in a sec. So, wow, what is going on with my mouth here? This is bizarre. It started off like fairly weak actually, and then it held that strawberry vanilla flavor that I was saying, and I kept waiting for it to be really oaky, because bourbons at 18 years old are going to usually taste pretty oaky, and it doesn't, at least not at first sip. And then you swallow it, and at 45%, that's not atypical for me. Like, in fact, I usually drink way higher than that. So for it to burn the way it did is strange. So the finish was a little bit like surprising, but then the finish in the throat, like the alcohol burn was way more than it should have been. But then the actual finish on my tongue took a minute to get there, but it went totally sideways. Let me have another sip so I can see if I can describe that. Sorry, Travis. I thought it would be kind of fun to cheers the mic, but I won't do it again. I've always wondered if that was like super loud. Okay. You ever have those little strawberry candies? I'm sure you have. Like everybody's grandmother has them. They're a red candy that's wrapped in a wrapper that looks like a strawberry. That. Mixed with a little bit of Luden's cherry cough drops, and the way that chloroseptic makes the back of your throat feel. So there you go. Elijah Craig Single Barrel 18. It's strawberries and chloroseptic. Now, regarding the courage and conviction, I am a big fan. I think that they do awesome stuff. I did all of their new finishes somewhat recently. I was less impressed by the sherry, although I will say that Ed from the Rock Gut Review liked it quite a bit. I really liked their cognac finish, and I thought their bourbon finish was pretty good too. But the cognac was my favorite, if I remember correctly. You know, I'm feeling a little bit better about the whole chill filtering thing because people are arguing about it in the chat for Jack Daniels. Like, I gotta imagine that they do, but it's not high enough ABV for it to cloud. But they would probably do it just for the consistency in the bottle on the shelf. I don't know. I'm sure. Does Jack Daniels color their whiskey? I would imagine they do. Actually, is that? No, that might not be a thing. I'm trying to think if there's rules that say that they can't, with them being a Tennessee whiskey. I don't know. Anyway, all right. Yeah, the Elijah Craig 18, I would imagine that this is a very expensive version of the Elijah Craig. In fact, I'm going to do a quick little price check because I'm curious. Because this strikes me as one that would be a lot more expensive than it's worth. Elijah Craig 18. Let's do price. They don't add coloring. I guarantee that. Yeah, okay. When it's price ramped up to 100, 120, blah, blah, blah. $150. Okay. Ugh. No. Don't buy it 150 bucks. Yeah, that was what I was trying to remember. Steve, thank you for that. Like I said, I'm batting 0 tonight on whiskey knowledge. I have been paying attention to other things lately and have kind of forgotten some stuff. At least the nuance of all of those little guys. Those should be just ingrained in my head, but sometimes they're not. It's a side effect of concentrating on all whiskeys, is getting things mixed up. But yeah, no, I didn't think bourbon was allowed to do coloring, but I wasn't sure if Tennessee whiskey allowed for that. But then I was like, well, but Tennessee whiskey is bourbon. It's just got extra steps. So anyway, all right, let's pick another whiskey. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about something exciting for the whiskey dictionary. I'm going to go to, let's see, boom. I always go to the middle. Let's go to the edge. Boop. It's like a claw machine. Ooh, oh, goody. All right, this is definitely a good one to, this is a good one to continue on. What time is it? 8:51, perfect. Hazelburn 10-year. All right. This is from the Really Good Whiskey Company, so I've had this one for quite a while. All right, Hazelburn. And this is dram number 6 tonight. All right, people are saying 130, 140 for that 18. I would not say it's worth it. All right, so Kenneth is saying bourbon can have color, but straight bourbon can't. I don't know, whatever. Either way, I'm going to move on past that. So, nose on this does not smell like what I was expecting. So Hazelburn is made by same people that make Springbank and Long Row. So I was expecting it to be a little bit of that Campbelltown funk, but I don't know that I've actually ever had a Hazelburn before. This is also only the 10-year, so it's not going to be the epitome of what makes Hazelburn Hazelburn. Yeah, I know. I was hesitant to ask Robert Licorice because I kind of don't want to ask him such a, I guess, remedial question. But, I will. So, Robert, can you remind me what are the rules about coloring bourbon versus straight bourbon versus Tennessee whiskey? Is there caramel coloring allowed in any capacity for bourbons? Yeah, I know. I hear you, buddy. I've had most of these for a while. The samples I gave you were given back in 2019, which, wow, time flies. Yeah, you gave me these at the Bastards Ball, actually. I know. It's crazy. Jack Daniels is bourbon that then goes through the... Yeah, no, totally. I see 86. I'm aware. But Jack Daniels wants to be Tennessee whiskey, and it is. But Tennessee whiskey is also a bourbon, just by definition. It's, like I said, bourbon with extra steps. All right. So, on the nose, I like this. It's a little easier than I was expecting. I thought it would be a little bit more complex. I feel like it's open for, a minute or two. Not nearly long enough that it needs to, but hold on. A little bit of that funk is starting to come out, just a hint. It's nowhere near what I would expect, what I would get off. You know what? I don't want to say things without backing it up a little bit. I'm at least going to get Springbank 10, pour it in a glass. Yep, half the bottle's gone because I've been dabbling a bit. The 10 is still not my favorite, but that 13 really did become something I very much enjoy. Okay, so JD can't add coloring. Thank you. All right. Yeah, all right, so there's a lot more. Is there, though? It's a little different. Just a little bit. All right, anyway, let's go ahead and taste this. Cheers. Oh, sorry, I won't do that. Okay. Okay, I'm a fan of Hazelburn. I believe this is the first time I've had any Hazelburn whatsoever. So I need to get my hands on a Hazelburn because apparently this is delicious. I gotta imagine like a lot of you guys out there are probably fans of Hazelburn. I am very excited about this. I got a little bit of hate for saying I didn't love Springbank. Not hate, but more just doubt. But Hazelburn is much more my speed. Now, if I remember correctly, there is a significant difference between all three of the different ones coming out of the Springbank distillery. I'm not remembering at the moment, but whatever. Doesn't matter. All right, let me talk about my thing before I run out of time here. So, today is actually a very special day for me. And not just because of this announcement I'm about to make, but because the day is the birth of what is going to be, apologize for the terrible screenshot here. This was sent to me by the people over at 3 Chord Whiskey. I am, of course, doing my own barrel, right? Single barrel pick. And this is going to be called 3 Chord Harmony. And the reason for that is I'm going in on it with a friend of mine. So both of us are kind of doing this together, so we figured we'd call it Harmony. But here's the thing, and the reason that I'm excited about this particular barrel. So I brought this bottle out specifically earlier for a reason. The Remus Repeal Reserve number 4. The reason I picked this 3 Chord Harmony is... Oh, sorry, I delayed. This is actually getting bottled today. That's why this is cool and why I was excited to announce it today. Anyway, the Remus Repeal Reserve number 4 tastes almost exactly like that single barrel. And that was why I picked it. I think I tasted 13 different whiskeys from 3 Chord before I picked one. And it was just like immediately, clearly the choice. So more details to come on this. I'm not sure exactly when it'll be available. Patrons get first crack at it. But aside from that, it's like, I'm really excited about this. This is my first single barrel pick. Hopefully more to come, but I'm very, very excited for it. It's like, what I'm probably going to do is, because I want you guys to get this, but more so I want you guys to taste this. So when it's available, I'm sure I'm going to pick up a bunch of bottles of it. I'm going to do some samples through live streaming and just as bottle giveaways or whatever. But like, just if you trust me and you trust my reviews, know that despite the fact that I'm putting out the single barrel, like, I just need you guys to freaking try this thing. It's so good. And I hope that you feel that way too. So either way, that's my big announcement for tonight is single barrel, my very first through the channel. All right, so let's go ahead and continue to drink this. I will also bring a bottle of it with me to the Bastard's Ball, assuming that there's any left by that point. So if you haven't tried it, you can certainly try it. Yeah, no, I'm totally with you, Spencer. I was actually looking at it, and I was trying to think of why it tasted that way. So this is 60 corn, 36 rye, 4% malted barley, right? So the Remus Repeal is 23% of this bottle is 36% rye, which matches that. And then 77% is 21% rye, whereas mine is, 36%. Like, I don't know how that math works out, but the fact that it's going to be somewhat close with the rye content, I think is a big factor in there. But either way, I'm going to probably do the two of them side by side. But I did it that night because as soon as I tasted it, I was like, this reminds me of something. And I was like poking around and I realized it was the Remus. And I was just like, that makes some sense because it's MGP, but wow, right? So I definitely will, Robert. Hey, actually, Robert, so since I have you here, I was going to ask. So I'm coming early. I'm going to be there on the 14th. What day do you head down to the Bastard's Ball to do your thing? And I believe you're like a few hours away from Austin, correct? Otherwise, maybe I might just make a different trip out to come see you guys, but might be convenient while I'm out there. I rented a car and everything, so I don't mind driving a little ways. Anyway, oh, wow. I didn't realize that Mash and Drum is doing 50K subs. That's awesome. I will actually jump right over there as soon as I turn off this stream. So hopefully I'll see you guys over there. Yeah, no, totally get it. All right. Anyway, thank you guys all for joining me here on this Wheel of Whiskey, Flight of the Round Table, whatever we want to call it. And I hope to see you all next week. Actually, yeah, next week. No, sorry, no, I will not be live next. I will be live next week. It's the 30th, so I'll be live next week. And look for some interest. Look for some information about the Blend Bills bar thing that I talked about earlier. Okay, Robert, I'm definitely not driving 4 hours, but we'll figure it out. Anyway, thank you all for joining me here tonight, and we will talk soon. Cheers.